Imagined Users by Group 5. Team members are Olivia, Ray, Gina, Omar, Sasha, and Benjamin.
Introduction. What are imagined users? They are conjured up in the form of vignettes and anecdotes based on personal and second-hand experience, assumptions, and research data. Designers have discussions about a design product or service and who will use them. This is where the role of the imagined user is explored. How important is the imagined user? The imagined user is critical to the possibility of design and planning narratives by bringing resonance and meaningfulness to them. When drawing on imagined users effectively, translate broad discourses into persuasive context-specific accounts of users and use. As such, the imagined user is an important rhetorical tool. Is it inclusive? Terms like race, class, and gender never appear. Designers and creators tend to default to imagined users whose experiences are like their own. It is easier for designers to make decisions based on their own knowledge and their perceptions of users' needs. Most technology product designs ends up being focused on the most socially and economically powerful users.
History. The history of imagined users dates back to around the start of commercially available computers. In 1981, Don Norman criticized Unix by saying, "If Unix is really to become a general system, then it has got to be fixed. I urge correction to make the elegance of the system design be reflected as friendliness towards the user, especially the casual user." By this, he was saying that the Unix developers should focus their development focus on accessibility towards all users, not just those who are tech savvy. D.E. Whitaker uses Band-Aids as an example of centering the needs of the privileged over that of other groups. In this, he describes that the quote-unquote flesh color Band-Aids only match the skin tone of white people, so if anyone with other skin tones use them, they would not blend in with their skin. Chris Ivory and Neil Alderman stated that gaining useful knowledge about any aspect of the social world, including that of users, is difficult and time-consuming. By this, they mean that many designers believe that taking certain groups into account is not worth their time, so they only focus on the privileged groups.
Design developments. To summarize, imagined users are the imagined people that would be put through each scenario when designing a product. These test to see if the product is inclusive to all groups or missing main key features. A product of design developments is Agnostic Spaces. Agnostic Spaces is designing for a large portion of users who have different needs. Users keep us accountable and let us and others know that we care about creating products that will benefit a majority of users. Everyday use. With the increase in social media usage, average people need to know to use this concept when creating and designing content to send out into the world. A platform that has the most accessibility features would be TikTok. It offers live captioning, text-to-speech capabilities, and language translation functions available in the comments and captioning. Users still are able to enjoy content even if it was not imagined for them.
The future of the imagined user. How can designers move forward? How can they make progress towards making more inclusive design choices? They can think of other users outside of the majority or outside of what they are accustomed to. They can create highly personalized experiences for the users based off of information that they already know about them. They can prioritize diversity in developer teams because those who are excluded by systems of power are more likely to see the flaws within. As well as a more diverse team will also innately result in a more diverse imagined user. They must engage in phenomenological variation to identify problem areas, as well as conduct diversity impact assessments. It is very important that designers talk to lead users and not just their customers. By doing this, companies can find out what the users really want. By going outside the scope of their general customers, companies can then stop the cycle of always catering to the majority. Lastly, they must include users early on in the research and development process. Including users through all the phases helps designers steer away from the biases formed from imagined users. A large and diverse group of users would be able to pick up on discrimination in the design better than a small group of designers, whether the group of designers was diverse or not. Just remember, there will always be something people miss. Nothing will ever be easy to use for everyone, and certain changes will not fix all the problems. What's important is that designers take accountability, that they learn from their mistakes, and then they make the changes when necessary.
Accessible features. So I will be presenting about how our group utilized accessible design techniques in both our presentation and our website. Firstly, we made sure that our website had a colorblind-friendly color scheme, meaning that people who suffer from color blindness and other visual impairments will have an easy time navigating our site. So we made sure to have our site include mostly whites, blues, and grays. We ran our site through a contrast checker and it passed all the tests, meaning that our site was colorblind friendly. On the right, you can see an image of the Pepsi logo and how people who suffer from different types of color blindness view these colors. Next, we made sure to have a clear, easily readable font on our website. So we made sure it was a big, simple text font instead of a curly one. We also made sure to include alt text with all our images so that those who suffer from a visual impairment and would rather read text are able to know what images are on our website. As you can see on the right, I have included alt text for this image. For our video, we made sure to have a written transcript for our video, and we also made sure to have manually written subtitles as opposed to auto-generated subtitles, since auto-generated subtitles aren't accurate most of the time.